everybody, Old Man Relk here from Star Citizen. I'm about to do a quick um, cargo delivery run of hydrogen for 56K worth of hydrogen over to CRUL5 in my Caterpillar here. And I'm creating this video because I'm generally curious how long it takes me to do the run. I think it takes about 30 minutes, and when I get there, I sell off this hydrogen I'm carrying, and I fill my cargo holds up with scrap, and that cost me about 76K, and I sell it here for about 103. So all in all, in about half an hour's time, I can make about 40K, so it's about 80K an hour, roughly. I don't know whether people do this in other places, and sorry, I'm starting after having purchased the hydrogen, but the nice people at Lefsgate decided to put my ship away. So, sorry. But yeah, that only takes a second or two at the terminal from the point that I started this video to when I actually purchased the gear or the cargo. So I'm making this in case people are thinking or considering, well, I'd really like to haul a larger cargo. Caterpillar's definitely a good option. I used to haul in my freelancer like a lot of people, and then I
Hello and welcome aboard your Drake interplanetary craft.
got a Connie Aquila, and I started hauling in that, and you only get 96 SCU with that versus the 500 SCU, 560 something SCU you get with this. So it's been an interesting day. I've had some fun. My girlfriend joined me in the verse today. She got herself an account and Reliant Core, and she logged on
Launch complete.
with me,
Port impact warning. Starboard impact warning.
and we went on a
Landing gear
very
off.
interesting journey.
Have a good one.
I had some interesting bugs because she actually jumped in the co-pilot seat in this, and we flew over to the R&R and hailed them to have them open the doors, and instead of one, and I don't know if this was a server glitch in the particular server we were on, or it had to do with her being in that co-pilot seat, and some mechanic of multi-crew. The vessel isn't fixed yet, but she, hailed them and tried to get them to open the doors, and they didn't. I hailed them, they gave me permission to land, we flew over to our landing spot, and the door wasn't open. The wrench was there, but the door wasn't open, and at this particular place, there's only two hangars you can land this ship. It's hangar 1 or hangar 2, and both of them were closed. So we went to Lorville to dump the ore, which was, she got to see Lorville, but it was not the trip I anticipated taking. And we ended up burning a lot more hydrogen and quantum fuel than I wanted to burn. So, we didn't really churn up a lot of profit on those runs. But, pardon me while I stand up, I'm trying to avoid the interdiction of pirates or police. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I think 9 out of 10 times it works, and last time I made this run out here a few minutes ago, there were 9 tails attacking the R&R, but so why do I like this run? Well, one of the reasons is from the time you launch into Quantum, the trip between Daymar and CRUL5 is ridiculously short. So it's high efficiency in terms of the fuel you burn, the time you put into it, versus, scooting across the entire verse with a load of cargo. And I got to do the math and figure out whether or not, just by extending it out to different stations, there's a bigger yield, plus a little less boredom because you're not running around the same bases all the time. But as you can see, we're pretty much going to be popping out of quantum here in a sec. And I'm going to pop back in the seat. Fire cruise control back up. And off to the races, as they say. Now, normally, I don't try to go full throttle, like I don't go full bore into this station, but I will share this with you. I know that if I am in a pretty good vector when I launch into my quantum from De La Mar after leaving Levski, that I can come out of quantum and I'm still dead on pretty much to that station point. And fairly often what I find is if I don't maneuver around a lot, if I don't do too much wiggling about once I get out of quantum, I can pretty much get a straight path through these rocks. They don't seem to move around too much. On occasion I do have to make a slight course correction, but pretty much once we get on the other side of this large cluster of boulders, the station's going to be right out there in front of us, and we'll see the little red lights. And this part of the trip does consume a larger majority of the time because we're traveling on hydrogen and we got to go slower, and we're still about 20k out, from the actual location. But I might have had a bad exit angle because it looks like there's a rock right below us there that I don't want to have to meet. So I'm just going to angle up slightly. I don't know, it's actually lower than I thought. And pretty much we come out on the other side of this, and in that dark patch right in front of us, in a second or two we should see the spine. This superstructure of the R&R, unless the pirates actually blew it up. Who knows? And now I'm a flying hydrogen bomb with no place to get rid of it. That's always awesome. Oh, no, there they are. I can see the red lights flashing now. I don't know if you can. It's a little easier to see that. So we cleared through here, and all that really is required, because the way this looks right now, the area we land is actually below. It's on the bottom, and we just need to barrel roll into position. So, and it's an interesting station. There are two rings at the top, and then there's a section below where the larger hangars are. Usually if you're in a smaller ship, you're going to park on the rings. There are pads there you can land on. But with this, you're forced to pull into a very narrow hangar, and I'm going to be slowing down here in a second because this thing does not break very easily. Turn off cruise, and we're in the zone, and I'm going to angle to try to park.
Attention, engines overheating.
Right at that sign directly in front of us, which I don't know, you'll see in a second. So now we're in close enough, and this is where earlier today, when I would come here, I would have R&R CRUL5, and there were two of these instead of one. And
Please proceed to assigned landing line.
Things would go badly. But so there's the wrench that's popped up there on my left of the HUD, and I target right there on that Kovalek sign, or I don't really know what I think it's a Karaba sign. But that seems to put me in a pretty good spot for that bay. And when I pull by, I just take a peek, and make sure it's open. Yep, it's open. So now we're here. I pull right up to that sign as close as I dare, and then I just spin the ship this way, drop my landing gear, and I'm a little high, obviously.
Landing gear down.
So, apologize, I'm gonna go into a different perspective because lining this up can be a little unnerving. So the one thing that I do, considering the buggy nature of getting repairs and refueling, with the way things are going, anytime I'm near a station like this, I try to refuel and repair, especially with this ship. And the major reason for that is that hydrogen tank takes a long time to fill up. And I don't want to be in a position where I'm actually sitting trying to get refueled and I get kicked off the pad and my ship gets impounded. That's not a pleasant experience, but once I see it hit 99,
Hydrogen fuel is at 100%.
Yeah.
Landing complete.
Landing complete.
Okay.
Present state.
Engines offline.
So to make this a decent run, I leave the engine, kill the engines because I don't want to waste fuel, and they spin up pretty quick for us to get a getaway. I leave everything else on, so shields, power, flight ready, with the exception of again, with the exception of the engines running. Here. So the funny thing is, earlier, as I might or might not mention, but my girlfriend started playing, and we were leaving Levski, and there was a guy lurking around in the hangar, and I was trying to tell her, never open your ship up if someone you don't know is out there, because they could just as easily beat you to the pilot seat and smash your ship into a station or another player, go pad ramming with a caterpillar. That can be fun, and you get a crime stat. So, I'd rather not have that happen to me. So, this particular landing bay, although not marked, might either be landing bay 1 or hangar 1 or hangar 2, because those are the only two options. And as soon as this door closes, we're going to find out. Yep, we're in hangar 2. Now that's helpful. Even though there's only two choices, it'll save a couple of seconds, because then we don't have to jump in and press hangar 1, move all the way over to the other side of the station, bring it all the way back. And hopefully this is my last one of these tonight. I've tried to record this a couple times. I had some technical difficulties with equipment. I had some difficulties with the game. And I'm trying to demonstrate a speed run here, to give you an idea of, if you really commit to it, how much cash you can pull in. And the game allows, right? No 30Ks, no crashes. So we're going to sell off all that hydrogen. So I bought it, I think, for 56, paid 62, so there's a little bit of profit in that, but not a lot. So now we're empty again. This is where you make your money. So we're buying this at $135 a unit, filling the whole ship up for 76K. And see, that's a bug. It keeps saying there's 200 units in there that we can get in, and it's not. And you'll see what ends up happening. It'll fail, and then eventually completely fill. So that's okay. It's a bug I can live with. Didn't cost me any extra credits. And run like hell. Sprinting the whole way back to that elevator. Oh, that's nice. Save a second or two. Back to hangar 2. So yeah, she had a lot of fun, and hopefully tomorrow we'll get a chance to go shopping, and buy some clothes, and do that kind of stuff. Explore a little bit, go sightseeing. Because I spent some time it was funny when I started doing this after she went to bed. I think I had about 40K. And I'm at 192 now, but keep in mind I just bought 76K worth of scrap that needs to get sold. And then we'll get a final tally on that when we get to the end of it. And make our way back to the bridge. Fire those engines back up.
Engines online.
And as you can see, doing this run this way, we've got plenty of time to go back to the ship, ask for the doors to be opened,
You are clear to launch.
and actually replot our return trip, Dalamar to Levski, while those bay doors are opening. And as you can see, I mean, that's not a lot of quantum fuel to move a ship this big that short distance, so. Alright, doors are opening.
Launch complete.
Gonna get her in the air. Get the gear down.
Landing gear up.
And back her out.
Starboard impact warning.
Nice and easy.
Port impact warning.
You hear that a lot, but if you pulled in nice and straight,
Thank you.
you really don't have a problem. So from here, I can even start spooling the drive. I'll burn less helium. Just using stationary thrusters to get to that, because looky there, those are friendly neighborhood waypoint.
Quantum drive is now
And
on.
you're actually out of there so fast it doesn't even get a chance to yell at you for blocking a flight path. So that's a bonus. And if you're wondering why, again, I keep getting out of the seat, because there's this little thing that goes on in the game, and I'm not sure whether it's like an old wives' tale or it's built and proven on legitimacy. But if you get out of your seat, your pilot seat, while you're quantuming in a ship where you can, of course, I guess you reduce the likelihood of being interdicted either by pirates or police, which is just another drag of time. In a ship like this with no crew to help me in the turrets, I'm not going to try to fight pirates. I'm going to fly away as fast as I can, but it's pulling me out of quantum and causing trouble. And if you just heard, we've already come into the slower version of quantum from the high-speed burst we got when we left. And there are dust clouds. There's the rocks, and there is Dalamar. So when I first started flying to Dalamar, to Levski specifically, and I was coming through these rocks, it would make me panic because I didn't believe that my ship was going to be able to make this maneuver at high speed and not smash into them, and it still freaks me out. Come on. What's going on? Oh, don't tell me we have 30K. Please don't have 30K on me. No, 76 grand in the hold. Alright. So we'll try the old get out of the seat, get in the seat trick, and see if that helps. I'm hoping that works. What do you know?
Quantum drive is now on.
That was hairy. Yeah, like, whoa. I'm going into hyperspace through an asteroid field. It still just makes me laugh.
Quantum drive is now off.
Alright, so I'm going to cruise control slightly here. Crank it up to about 300 and move a bit to the right. Because I like to have some maneuvering room when I come back in here. And I like to see these towers in front of me turn red. Once those red lights turn on, I kill the engine, or I kill the cruise control. And it kind of lets me glide right up to about where I need to be. Or as soon as I see the automated turrets go on the screen. Yep, you can fly faster, you can do things, but I mean, I know how, for me personally, how long it takes to get the ship to slow down. I also know there, right about there, I can call.
I thought I recognized you. Nice to have you back.
I hope I didn't just pooch myself.
One hanger coming up.
Okay, good. So now I've got the cruise control off, and I'm still going to go in kind of slow, because this is a big ship. It turns slow, it maneuvers slow. And we're going to do kind of a hokey landing here because of the fact that VTOL is not really in play yet, which would greatly assist bringing the ship down smoothly in a straight line, lining it up. But given the timers and what goes on with just maneuvering as it exists today, I choose the kamikaze method of entering the hangar in these ground-based hangars, and then I make corrections once I get my nose in there.
Front impact warning.
Because it's a tight fit
Deck
to begin
impact
with.
warning. Starboard impact warning. Port impact warning.
Lots of warnings. So right around this point, I'm gonna stop real quick, and I'm just gonna do it because I don't know the next time I'm gonna be able to get fuel. So
Port impact warning.
I'm glad I filled up at the
Deck
last
impact
place,
warning.
and maybe it's just because I wasn't low enough, and I don't have landing gear down.
Landing gear down.
Let's see what happens now. Nope, no try. And again, that's purely a personal choice on my part to refuel and repair every time I can. Just because I just don't want to get caught with
Landing complete.
the big
Oh,
bill.
good. Oh, good.
I don't want to get caught.
Shield system offline.
Yeah, now I'm powering down because this is my last run. I'm exhausted, running these runs. Been at it for quite a while. And make our way through the much darker ship. But yeah, I just really had a rough time with the trip to Lorville because we couldn't land at that R&R, and it took a while for me to get that tank filled back up to 90%. it's just it's a lot different than pulling up in a Drake, Cutlass, and your tanks are full in 2 seconds. Doesn't work that way. This is it, the final stretch. Let's go see how much money we made. Yeah, I'm pretty sure whoever it was who was goofing around with us was a noob, because he didn't have on, he didn't have on any kind of like decent armor at all. He was just kind of running around in his newbie underwear. But I'm always nervous with a ship that big, with the amount of goods you can have on it at any given time, and the lack of our ability to lock them, and have like a entry only by permission system, going on. Just that, and the fact that you can't fire on somebody yet for illegally entering your vehicle. It's just so easy for people to conduct nefarious activities. But the prison's coming. Maybe that'll change things too. So now we're going to go here and finish the job. And there we go. So there's our scrap. And we bought it for 1.5 something or 1.3 something, and we're selling it for 1.8. So that's a big profit, right? So 76K investment, and that's us 103,000 plus what I made on the hydrogen. Yeah, I can be happy with that. I know, see, that's a bug. It still thinks that I have a bunch of this in my hold, and I don't. It does say error on the screen, so it is an error. But now you see I'm back to empty cargo and almost 300K. When I started this a while back, I was at 40K, 30 to 40K, so that's a pretty good jump. Almost $250,000, over $250,000, in a couple of hours. So, do I think it's worth it? Do I think, yeah, I think it's worth it. I think you can, safely utilize this as a means to make enough money to make the purchases you want, and, further your gameplay and do it faster. So you can do fun stuff like tomorrow, go sightseeing at Microtech and ArcCorp, and, go walk around on the moons and check out some of the frozen lakes. So that's kind of the game plan. Go shopping. I can spend some of that money and not worry. Buy some good armor upgrades and weapons and med pens and all the stuff that we need to be successful in games. So again, as of this video, the PTU of 3.8.2 with Garrix and long-term persistence is coming live in a couple days, maybe 2 or 3, maybe middle of this week or the end of next, by next weekend. But I hope you sat through this and learned a few things. If not, I'm sorry. But we learned that you can make about 40K hauling this stuff, maybe a little over, in under 30 minutes or so, if the game treats you well. And salute. Take care.